Well, Houston police are looking for a man who hit and killed a motorcyclist with his car. The motorcycle was headed north on Mesa Drive at Atwater Street in northeast Houston around 11:30 last night when a fast-moving car hit it from behind. The man on the motorcycle was killed. The man driving the car ditched the car and made a run for it. Police are looking for him, but witnesses really didn't give them a very good description, so their job is going to be difficult. And an update now on a story we first brought to you yesterday morning. Someone breaking into a home and shooting and killing a man in Richmond. Well, it gets worse. We now know that it happened in front of the man's wife and 2 children. Thankfully, though, those 3 people were not hurt in that shooting in the home on Rippling Stream Lane late Wednesday night. The attackers also, well, they didn't take anything from the home, so police are trying to figure out why they would kill that man. They also want to figure out who the killers are so they can, of course, arrest them. Pasadena police are investigating an officer-involved shooting. 911 dispatchers heard what sounded like a fight coming from a call from a home in the 4400 block of Cypress Pond Court. As officers headed that way, they were told that a man who lived there had pulled a gun on police in the past. When they got there, a woman came up to them who'd been assaulted by that man. It's not clear how badly she was hurt. Officers then used a shield to protect themselves as they walked up to the house, and it's a good thing they did. The man inside the house then started shooting at them, even hitting that shield with one of his bullets. One officer returned fire, hitting the man in the midsection. An ambulance took him to the hospital. We really don't know how badly he's hurt. Thankfully, though, no officers got hurt. The Houston Police Department will formally introduce their new chief later this morning. Mayor John Whitmire announced that Noe Diaz would be our city's new top cop. Diaz has been chief of police for Katy for the past 5 years. In total, he has decades of experience in law enforcement, including serving as a Texas Ranger. Diaz's formal introduction's happening at 11 this morning. His first day on the job will be August 14th after the City Council gives their final approval. This morning, 3 American families are back together for the first time in years after a prisoner swap with Russia. Washington, D.C. correspondent Hannah Brandt joins us now live from our nation's capital. The deal was complex, Hannah, and involved a number of different nations. Well, we begin this half hour with a troubling story out of League City. A woman says that she had a frightening encounter with a man while she was just out checking her mail last month. It was all caught on surveillance video that we're getting to see this morning. The victim told police that back on July 24th, a man walked up to her behind her while she was at the mailbox. He grabbed her, told her he loved her, and then put his hand over her mouth when she yelled for help. Thankfully, she was able to get away without being harmed, and the man just walked off. Now people in the Briar Glen neighborhood are upset, and League City Police ask you to call them if you recognize the man in this video. The Harris County Sheriff's Office needs your help finding a man who they say robbed a smoke shop in Cypress Wood. Deputies are looking for the man in this surveillance picture. 911 dispatchers got a call from the Vegas Vape and Smoke Shop in the 5600 block of Trashwig Road in the Spring area Wednesday night. A man he tried to leave the store with several things he didn't pay for, but an employee hit a special button that locked the man inside. Well, that's when the man pulled out a gun and ordered the clerk to open the door, which he did, fearing for his life. Take a good look. If you recognize this man, please call police. And an update now on a story we first told you about yesterday morning. Someone breaking into a home and shooting and killing a man in Richmond. This is just horrible. We now know it happened in front of the man's wife and 2 children. Now, thankfully, they weren't hurt in the shooting in that home on Rippling Stream Lane late Wednesday night. The attackers didn't take anything from the home. Police are trying to figure out why they would have killed that man. They also want to figure out who the killers are so they can track them down and arrest them.
And not much rain coming our way.
Oh, it's looking like August around here. Thanks, Adam. Well, police are trying to figure out why someone shot 2 men who were just sitting in a car in West Houston. Those men pulled over near the intersection of Westheimer Road and Woodland Park Drive around midnight to look up directions to where they were going. For some unknown reason, another car pulled up next to them, and someone inside started shooting before they drove off. One man was hit in the foot and the other man was hit in the arm. They did go to the hospital. They were stable at last check, you might imagine, with those injuries. Houston police are still looking for the shooter. Pasadena police are investigating an officer-involved shooting. 911 dispatchers heard what sounded like a fight coming from a call from a home in the 4400 block of Cypress Pond Court last night. As officers headed that way, they were told that a man who lived there had pulled a gun on police in the past. And when they got there, a woman came up to them who'd been assaulted. It's not clear how badly she's hurt. So officers then grabbed a shield to protect them as they walked up to the house. Good thing they did. The man inside the house started shooting at them, even hitting that shield. One officer returned fire, hitting the man in the midsection. An ambulance took him to the hospital. It's not clear just how badly he's hurt this morning. Thankfully, no officers actually got hit. Houston police are looking for a man who hit and killed a motorcyclist with his car. The motorcycle was headed north on Mesa Drive at Atwater Street in northeast Houston around 11:30 last night. That was when a fast-moving car hit it from behind. The man on the motorcycle was killed. The man driving the car ditched the car and made a run for it. Police are looking for that man this morning, but the witnesses there, they didn't have a very good description to give to police. Well, it's 7:39 and we're headed out to break, but we're going to take you there with a live look at Lake Travis off in the distance there. That's a lake that around here we've had plenty of rain. Our watershed's looking pretty good, but that's not the case there. The Lower Colorado River Authority says that the lake is down 21 feet from its normal August average. Folks there could really use water there in the Austin area. You're watching CW39 Houston. No wait, weather and traffic. We'll be right back.